Life is filled with ups and downs. There are moments when everything seems to be going smoothly and you feel on top of the world. But then there are also those moments when life throws challenges your way, crises at work, issues in relationships, or personal struggles. These tough times can feel overwhelming, but they are a natural part of the human experience. The Stoics believe that adversity is inevitable, but what truly matters is how we respond to it. They taught that we can transform hardship into an opportunity for growth by cultivating inner strength and resilience. The central message of Stoicism is that while we may not be able to control external circumstances, we always have control over our inner world, our thoughts, emotions, and actions. By focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot, we can find peace and strength even in the midst of chaos. In this video, we will explore how the Stoic philosophy can help you navigate difficult times. Whether you're facing challenges in your personal life, relationships, or career, these principles will guide you toward a more resilient and grounded way of living. We'll divide our discussion into 10 key parts, each offering practical wisdom on how to endure and even thrive during tough times. Now let's dive into the first principle of Stoic wisdom and learn how to face crises with the mindset of a philosopher. Control what you can, accept what you cannot. The foundation of Stoicism lies in understanding what is within our control and what is not. The Stoics taught that while we cannot always influence external events, we are always in control of our internal responses to those events. This is one of the most powerful lessons for dealing with crises, whether at work, in relationships, or in personal matters. The dichotomy of control. Epictetus, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, summarized this concept in his famous quote, "Some things are up to us and some things are not." What's within our control? Our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. What's outside our control? Everything else, other people's opinions, natural events, and outcomes that depend on external circumstances. When you face a crisis, the first step is to separate the elements of the situation into what you can control and what you cannot. Focusing on things beyond your control leads to frustration, anxiety, and wasted energy. On the other hand, directing your energy toward what you can control, your thoughts, decisions, and behavior, empowers you to take constructive action. Life example. Imagine you're facing a setback at work, such as losing a job. While losing the job itself is outside of your control, how you respond to this situation is entirely within your power. You can choose to see it as a failure, or you can view it as an opportunity to reassess your career path, learn new skills, or pursue a different direction. By focusing on your response, you take control of your future, rather than being paralyzed by the loss. Practical steps. Identify what's in your control. When facing a problem, ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? Focus your attention and energy on those areas. Let go of the rest. Practice letting go of things that are beyond your influence. This doesn't mean ignoring reality, but it does mean accepting that some things are simply out of your hands. Develop an internal locus of control. Work on building a mindset where your sense of success and failure comes from within, rather than from external circumstances. This empowers you to stay resilient, no matter what happens around you. Conclusion. The wisdom of Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. By doing this, we conserve our energy, reduce stress, and empower ourselves to take meaningful action in difficult times. This mindset shift is the first step in overcoming any crisis with grace and inner strength. Focus on the present moment. In times of crisis, it's easy to get lost in worry about the future or regret about the past. However, Stoicism teaches us the importance of grounding ourselves in the present moment. When we focus on the here and now, we regain clarity and strength, allowing us to face difficulties without being overwhelmed by anxiety. The power of the present. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor of Rome, frequently wrote about the importance of living in the present. In his work Meditations, he reminded himself to concentrate on what is happening now and not be distracted by the past or future. He said, "Confine yourself to the present." This simple but profound advice helps us stay grounded and avoid unnecessary suffering, from dwelling on what has already happened or what may happen. Why focusing on the present matters. When we spend too much time thinking about the past, we often feel regret or guilt. When we worry about the future, we experience anxiety and fear. But the only time we have any real control over is the present moment. By focusing on what's happening right now, we can take effective action, think clearly, and remain calm, even in the midst of crisis. Life example. Consider someone who is going through a breakup. They may spend hours thinking about what they could have done differently or worrying about whether they will ever find love again. These thoughts can consume them, leaving them feeling helpless and overwhelmed. But if they shift their focus to the present, what they can do today to heal, grow, and take care of themselves, they can begin to move forward with strength and clarity. Practical steps. Mindfulness practices. Incorporate mindfulness techniques such as meditation or deep breathing into your daily routine. These practices help you stay in the present and calm your mind during stressful moments. Take one step at a time. When facing a crisis, break down your challenges into smaller, manageable steps. Focus on completing one task at a time, rather than worrying about the entire situation. Avoid what-if thinking. If you find yourself spiraling into what-if scenarios about the future, gently bring your attention back to the present. Remind yourself that the future is unknown, and all you can control is what you do right now. Conclusion. Focusing on the present is one of the most effective ways to reduce stress and anxiety during difficult times. The Stoics remind us that life happens in the here and now, and by grounding ourselves in the present moment, we gain the strength and clarity to face any crisis head-on. Embrace adversity as an opportunity. The Stoics believe that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. When we face adversity, we have the chance to develop resilience, wisdom, and strength. Instead of viewing crises as setbacks, we can learn to see them as valuable opportunities to improve ourselves. The Stoic approach to challenges. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is the idea that adversity is not inherently negative. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that obstacles are not to be feared, but embraced as a path to personal growth. Every crisis, no matter how difficult, contains within it the seed of opportunity. Life example. Imagine an athlete who suffers a severe injury that prevents them from competing. While this may seem like a disaster at first, it can also be a turning point in their life. They could use the time to develop new skills, focus on mental training, or even discover a new passion. In this way, the injury becomes not just an obstacle, but an opportunity for transformation. How to reframe adversity. When we experience hardship, our natural reaction is often to resist or try to avoid it. But Stoicism teaches us to accept adversity and use it as a tool for growth. By changing our perspective, we can transform difficulties into opportunities. Practical steps reframe your thinking. When you encounter a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Look for the lesson or opportunity hidden within the difficulty. Practice resilience. Resilience is like a muscle that grows stronger with use. Each time you face adversity, remind yourself that it's an opportunity to build resilience and mental strength. Keep a growth mindset. Instead of seeing failures or challenges as permanent setbacks, adopt a growth mindset. Recognize that each obstacle is an opportunity to learn and improve. Conclusion. Adversity is inevitable, but how we respond to it is up to us. The Stoics teach us to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than viewing them as setbacks. By shifting our mindset and seeing obstacles as a path to improvement, we can turn any crisis into a valuable learning experience. Master your emotions. One of the greatest challenges during a crisis is managing our emotions. Fear, anger, frustration, and sadness can overwhelm us, clouding our judgment and making it harder to respond wisely to difficulties. Stoicism offers powerful tools for mastering our emotions and responding to crises with calm and clarity. The Stoic view of emotions. The Stoics didn't believe in suppressing emotions, but they did emphasize the importance of not letting emotions control us. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means that while it's natural to feel emotions like fear or anger, we have the power to choose how we respond to those emotions. Marcus Aurelius also wrote extensively about controlling emotional reactions. He believed that emotions like anger and fear are often irrational responses to external events, and that by cultivating reason and self-awareness, we can avoid being swept away by these feelings. Emotional mastery in crisis. When we face a crisis, it's easy to let emotions take over. We may react impulsively, say things we don't mean, or make decisions out of fear. But Stoicism teaches us that by mastering our emotions, we can stay calm and make better choices, even in the midst of chaos. Life example. Consider someone who faces an unexpected crisis at work, such as losing a major client. Their initial reaction might be panic or anger, but if they take a moment to step back and manage their emotions, they can approach the problem with a clear mind and find a solution, rather than letting their emotions lead them to impulsive decisions. Practical steps. Pause before reacting. When you feel strong emotions rising, practice taking a deep breath and pausing before you react. This gives you time to calm down and think rationally. Challenge irrational thoughts. Emotions often come from irrational thoughts. If you find yourself feeling overwhelmed, ask yourself whether your thoughts are based on reality or fear. Challenge any irrational assumptions and replace them with more balanced thinking. Cultivate calmness. Regularly practice techniques that help you cultivate inner calm, such as meditation or journaling. These practices build emotional resilience and make it easier to stay grounded during a crisis. Conclusion. Mastering your emotions is key to navigating crises with clarity and wisdom. The Stoics teach us that while we cannot avoid feeling emotions, we can choose how we respond to them. By learning to manage our emotional reactions, we gain the strength to face even the most difficult situations with calm and resolve. Harness the power of gratitude. When life gets tough, it's easy to focus on the negatives. We become consumed by what's going wrong and overlook the things we should be grateful for. Stoicism emphasizes the transformative power of gratitude as a key to finding peace and stability during crises. Gratitude is not just about acknowledging the good times, it's about recognizing the small, often unnoticed positives that surround us, even when we're struggling. Stoic wisdom on gratitude. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." He emphasized that by focusing on gratitude, we can reduce our suffering and build resilience. When we are grateful for what we already have, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and frustration. Epictetus also taught that our happiness lies in recognizing what we can control. Gratitude helps us focus on the present and the things we do have, rather than longing for what's beyond our reach. Life example. Imagine you're going through a tough time at work. Maybe your job feels overwhelming, or you've been passed over for a promotion. In such moments, it's easy to feel frustrated. But if you pause and reflect on what you're grateful for, your health, the support of your family, the skills you've gained, your perspective shifts. You may still have challenges at work, but they no longer feel insurmountable. Practical steps. Gratitude journal. Set aside a few minutes each day to write down 3 things you're grateful for. These can be small moments or significant aspects of your life. This practice trains your mind to focus on the positive. Express gratitude to others. When you express gratitude to someone, it not only strengthens your relationship, but also reminds you of the support around you. Gratitude meditation. Spend a few moments in quiet reflection, thinking about the things in your life you're grateful for, whether it's family, friends, or even challenges that push you to grow. Conclusion. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for shifting your perspective. It doesn't change the external circumstances, but it transforms how you perceive and respond to them. Focusing on what you have rather than what you lack brings balance and calm, helping you build resilience in the face of hardship. Find strength in others. In difficult times, we often tend to isolate ourselves. We may believe our problems are too personal, or we fear burdening others with our struggles. However, Stoicism highlights the importance of relationships and the support we receive from others. The importance of connection and unity. The Stoics recognize that human beings are social creatures, and we find strength not only in ourselves, but also in those around us. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the two rows of teeth, upper and lower." This means that our strength often comes from collaboration and mutual support. Opening up to others doesn't just lighten the load, it offers new perspectives and solutions to problems we may not have considered on our own. Recognizing that we are not alone in our struggles can bring great relief and renewed strength. Life example. Consider someone going through a relationship crisis. Instead of bottling up their feelings, they talk to a close friend or family member. Through the conversation, they may gain a new perspective or simply feel the emotional support that helps them face their challenges more calmly. Sharing and seeking support can make problems feel less overwhelming. Practical steps. Talk to loved ones. When you're facing a challenge, reach out to a friend or family member. Share your feelings openly, even if it feels difficult. Often, just talking can provide relief and clarity. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, whether it's advice, emotional support, or practical assistance. People around you are often more willing to help than you might think. Join support groups. If your problem is specific, consider joining a support group. Sharing experiences with others who are going through similar struggles can provide comfort and practical insights. Conclusion. Opening up to others makes life lighter, not only for yourself, but also for those who care about you. Mutual support is one of the most powerful tools for overcoming crises, and Stoicism reminds us that our strength lies not only in ourselves, but also in those around us. Reframe your beliefs. Our beliefs shape our reality. Sometimes the difficulties we face are magnified by the beliefs we hold, beliefs that may be outdated or false. Stoics emphasize the importance of examining and managing our beliefs because they determine how we interpret and respond to challenges. Letting go of false beliefs. Epictetus famously said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." This means that our thoughts and beliefs can be the source of our suffering. For instance, if we believe that success at work is the only path to happiness, any setback can feel like a disaster. But this belief may be limiting or untrue. Stoicism encourages us to regularly examine our beliefs, especially when they cause suffering. This doesn't mean abandoning your core values, but being flexible in how you perceive challenges. Sometimes our most deeply held beliefs need to be adjusted to better reflect reality. Life example. Imagine someone who believes they must always be successful and strong, never showing weakness. When faced with difficulties, they may experience immense pressure, not allowing themselves to seek help or acknowledge their vulnerability. But when they begin to challenge this belief, they realize that weakness is a part of the human experience, and asking for help doesn't make them any less worthy. Practical steps. Identify beliefs that cause distress. When you face difficulties, ask yourself, what beliefs are shaping my reaction to this situation? These could be thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," or "This is always my fault." Challenge those beliefs. Question the validity of your beliefs. Where did they come from? Are they really true? Many beliefs are formed early in life and may no longer serve us. Reframe your beliefs. Replace old, limiting beliefs with healthier, more adaptive ones. For instance, instead of, "I must always be successful," tell yourself, "I am allowed to make mistakes and learn from them." Conclusion. Reframing your beliefs is one of the most powerful ways to transform your life. When you realize that your thoughts and beliefs shape your experience, you hold the key to inner freedom. By revisiting and changing your beliefs, you take the first step toward becoming the master of your destiny, even in the face of adversity. Develop resilience through acceptance. Crisis and hardship are inevitable. When things don't go as planned, many of us fall into despair, wishing for the past or trying to fight the present reality. However, Stoics taught that resilience is not about fighting against what cannot be changed, but about accepting reality as it is. Embracing reality. Marcus Aurelius said, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." This means that we must learn to accept every event, whether good or bad, not as an enemy, but as a teacher. When we accept the inevitability of change and crisis, we stop wasting energy resisting it and instead direct our energy toward what can be done. Acceptance is not about passivity or giving up. Rather, it's recognizing what is outside our control and focusing on what we can change. Life example. Suppose you're going through a financial crisis. Perhaps you've lost your job or your business has taken a hit. Your first reaction may be to try and return to how things were before. But acceptance of the crisis means recognizing that the past cannot be restored and instead focusing on how you can adapt and move forward. This might be an opportunity to reassess your skills and find a new direction. Practical steps. Practice acceptance. Meditation. Each day, spend a few moments reflecting on aspects of your life that are outside your control. Learn to observe them without resistance or fear. Cultivate mental flexibility. When facing a challenge, ask yourself, can I change this? If the answer is no, focus on what you can change. This will help you avoid unnecessary emotional turmoil. See opportunity in hardships. In every crisis, there are hidden opportunities for growth and development. If you accept your current situation, you can start to look for new paths and solutions. Conclusion. Acceptance of reality is one of the main pillars of resilience. When we stop fighting against what cannot be changed, we find inner peace and become stronger. Stoics teach us to see difficulties as a part of life and to accept them as an opportunity for inner growth and improvement. Focus on the process, not the outcome. In today's world, we often become fixated on results, forgetting that the most important part is the process itself. Stoics taught that our happiness and satisfaction don't depend on the final outcome, but on how we approach our work and how we live each moment. Focus on the process. Epictetus said, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish for things to happen as they do, and you will be happy." This doesn't mean we should not strive for success, but it's important not to become obsessed with the final goal. We can only control our actions and efforts, while the results often depend on many external factors beyond our control. By focusing on the process, we maintain inner peace, regardless of potential failures. If you do everything within your power, that itself is valuable, regardless of the outcome. Life example. Imagine an athlete preparing for an important competition. Of course, their goal is to win, but if they focus solely on this, every failure or mistake feels catastrophic. If they focus instead on their training, progress, and personal achievements, they will be satisfied with the process, even if they don't win the competition. Practical steps break down large tasks into small steps. When working on something significant, focus on each step, not the final result. This allows you to stay in the present and enjoy the work. Evaluate your efforts, not the results. After finishing a project or reaching a milestone, don't just look at what you achieved. Consider how you did it. What did you learn? What went well? What could be improved? Develop patience. Results may not come immediately, but that doesn't mean you're not making progress. Patience is a key element of Stoic philosophy that helps us accept slow changes and enjoy each stage of the journey. Conclusion. The Stoics taught us that life is a process, not a goal. When we focus on what we can control and how we act, we find inner satisfaction. Focusing on the process helps us maintain resilience and calm, even when the outcome is not what we expected. Remember the finite nature of time? The final principle of Stoicism that helps us deal with difficulties is the realization of the finite nature of time. We often forget that our lives are limited, spending too much time on worries, fears, and anxieties. But the Stoics taught that awareness of our mortality is not a reason for fear, but a source of strength and wisdom. The wisdom of time. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow." This phrase reminds us that time is our most precious resource, and we must use it wisely. The Stoics believe that recognizing the brevity of life helps us become more decisive and focused on what truly matters. When we understand that time is limited, we stop postponing important things and start living fully. Life example. Imagine someone who has been putting off important decisions, such as a career change or forgiveness in relationships. They think they have plenty of time, but suddenly realize that years have passed and nothing has changed. The awareness of the finite nature of time motivates them to act now, rather than waiting for later. Practical steps practice. Memento mori. This Latin phrase means remember death. It reminds us of the finite nature of life. Each day, ask yourself, if this were my last day, how would I want to spend it? This will help you focus on what truly matters. Time planning. Start paying attention to how you spend your time. What tasks fill your day, which are truly important, and which just steal your time and energy. Live mindfully. Try to be fully present in the moment, whether you're spending time with loved ones or doing your work. Mindfulness helps you appreciate each moment and not miss opportunities for happiness and growth. Conclusion. When we realize the finite nature of time, we begin to live more meaningfully. We stop putting off important things and start acting here and now. The Stoics taught that every minute of life is precious, and we must use it to become better, wiser, and stronger. Conclusion. Grow stronger through hardships. Every crisis is an opportunity for growth. The Stoics believe that difficulties strengthen us and help us become better if we approach them the right way. They taught us not to fear problems, but to use them as learning moments. Hardships make us stronger if we meet them with wisdom and resilience. The key wisdom of Stoicism is that our life is a process of constant self-improvement. External circumstances may be unpredictable, but our inner world and strength are in our control. By using the principles of Stoicism, we can handle any crisis and become better every day. So if you're going through tough times right now, remember, this is temporary, but your strength is eternal. Hardships are not enemies but teachers.